What the bloody hell is going on with this government?
Seriously, are we trying to become China's pet kangaroo? You've got Albo grinning like he's just won a meat tray at the RSL, telling us all how brilliant it is that we are back in China's good books. Mate, have you ever actually asked the average Aussie how they feel about being economically handcuffed to a communist regime?
No? Thought so.
But hey, as long as the exports are flowing and the numbers look good on paper, who cares if we are selling off our sovereignty one trade deal at a time, right? Now before we dive into this absolute circus, smash that bloody like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and sound off in the comments. Is Australia being sold off to China while the Yanks get shafted? If you're as fed up with this two-faced politics as I am, grab yourself one of our Albo Knows Best teas, only $16 for the next 48 hours.
Links in the description, mates.
Alright, let's rip into it.
So here's the deal.
Albo's standing there, puffed up and proud, boasting about $20 billion worth of exports that we've restored to China. Restored, mate, they were the ones who cut us off in the first place. That wasn't a trade negotiation, it was economic blackmail. And instead of standing up and showing some backbone, we've gone crawling back like a desperate ex begging for another go.
You know what that makes us look like? Weak.
Real weak. And don't give me this rubbish about jobs and opportunity. Yeah, trade matters, no one's denying that. But when one country becomes your major trading partner by a long distance, you're not in a trade relationship anymore. You're in a dependency. And that, my friends, is how you get bent over by Beijing whenever they feel like flexing. Just ask the farmers, the winemakers, the lobster blokes, they know exactly what that whip feels like.
But here's the kicker.
While we are out here trying to cozy up to China again, the Yanks are slapping them with 125% tariffs. That's not just a trade war, that's economic warfare. And meanwhile, Albo's acting like we are in some kind of polyamorous FDA relationship where everyone's happy and no one's catching feelings. Nah, mate, doesn't work like that.
You can't play both sides when one of them's arming up and the other's buying your iron ore.
Eventually, you've got to pick a side. And right now, it looks like we are trying to sit on the fence while the whole backyard's on fire. And the way Albo talks about it, you'd think everything's just peachy. We welcome tourism, he says. Chinese tourists are big spenders. Big deal.
So are gamblers and drug lords. Doesn't mean we should roll out the red carpet and hand over the house keys.
You've got whole suburbs in Sydney and Melbourne priced out because foreign investors, guess who, are buying up property like it's a Boxing Day sale. But sure, let's just keep inviting more in while locals are stuck living in showboxes or paying $600 a week for a one-bedroom dump with black mold in the bathroom. Now look, I'm not saying we cut off China completely.
That'd be economic suicide.
But what I'm saying is this. We need to wake the hell up and realize that trade with China isn't just about dollars and cents. It's about leverage, influence, control.
You think they are buying all that coal and barley because they love us? Hell no.
They are buying it because they need it, until they don't. And when that day comes, we'll be left holding our snag with no bun, wondering what went wrong. And speaking of things going wrong, can we talk about the climate policies for a second?
Albo reckons he's been consistent since the bloody Rio summit.
That's like saying you've been consistently bad at your job since the 90s. Congratulations. Meanwhile, nothing's happening. Voters are turning green, not for the environment, but from nausea, watching Labour bicker with the Greens over laws that should be a no-brainer.
It's like watching a bunch of emus in high-vis trying to assemble a trampoline.
And the reef? Oh yeah, the reef.
Every election it gets dragged out like a political show pony. Look.
We are saving the reef. Meanwhile, back in Canberra, they are approving new coal projects like it's going out of fashion.
You can't have your lamington and eat it too.
Either you care about climate, or you care about coal royalties.
Pick one.
Because the rest of us are choking on the hypocrisy, and it's not even peak fire season yet. Let's not forget the US trade mess either. We import twice as much from the States as we export, and now we are begging them not to slap us with extra tariffs? What happened to standing up for Aussie industries? What happened to saying, "Oi, we are your mates, remember?" Instead, it's all passive diplomacy and polite presses while Trump 2.0 gears up for economic Armageddon. This isn't leadership, folks. This is damage control. It's spin, wrapped in a press conference, sprinkled with buzzwords and delivered with a fake smile. And we are supposed to swallow it whole because jobs?
Nah.
Stuff that.
We deserve better.
We deserve leaders who actually think 2 steps ahead, not just patch the holes after the ship's already sinking.
So what now? Do we keep pretending everything's all right?
Do we keep signing deals and shaking hands with regimes that don't share a single one of our values, just because it's good for the bottom line? Or do we grow a spine, diversify our economy, and start putting Aussie interests first for once? Drop a comment if you're tired of the pandering, sick of the flip-flopping, and ready for some real leadership. And if you want to wear your frustration proudly, check out our Elbow Knows Best shirts, $16, 48 hours only. Because if we are going down, we may as well do it in style.
Cheers for sticking around.
Stay loud, stay Aussie, and as always, don't believe everything you hear at a press conference.